All up in the NOLA-verse, all up in the NOLA-verse. There's community, passion, entertainment, and play. What are we going to do today? Up in the NOLA-verse.
Hello, Magical Misfits. It's your girl Nola Bunny, and welcome back to the NOLA-verse. Today I am here with a very special friend, my friend Freddy, also known as FACEcadet. And Freddy, you just released your album, Cara. I'm probably not pronouncing that perfectly correct. Can you please tell us how it's actually pronounced?
Cara.
Yes. But before we get into the album, I would love to know about where you get the name FACEcadet from, your music artist name.
So FACEcadet, the cadet in FACEcadet essentially is me learning and getting a hold of the world that's around me through the different experiences and thresholds that I enter, and faces more or less this familiar look that I have, that I feel that I get from people, that when they see me they're like, hey, you remind me of somebody that I know, or somebody that was good to me, or a family member of sorts. So I kind of fuse those two aspects and formulated FACEcadet.
And people feel comfortable around you.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so let's get into the album, Cara. So this is something that you were working on for 10 years, correct?
10 years, yes.
10 years. Is this your first album?
Yes, my first
Wow.
album.
Okay, so can you give us some insight about that 10-year journey and why 10 years?
Well, 10 years wasn't something specific. It just, the moment came where I realized this is it.
Yeah.
Now it's ready, now it's time, let's release it. But 10 years was me just kind of, again, living life, living in different parts of the United States, finding myself, understanding my story, and, coming to this point of the decade mark, everything was aligned to the point where it was like, it's now. Now is the time for you to share this story and see where it goes.
So how did it feel finally releasing music that you've been working on for a decade?
I'm so glad I waited.
Yeah.
I gotta say, and I'm proud of it. I still listen to it every day since the release, and I know I'm gonna be smiling and listening to it 20, 30, 40 years down and just really stand behind it.
Yes, and I listened to it too. It has not stopped being in me and Michael's car, and we listened to it when we were on our way over here right now. Yes, yes. I feel like there's a lot of different styles in your music. I hear rap, I hear hip hop, rock, there's even like a little Latin flair to it. Can you tell me where you get some of your influences from?
Everywhere. I'm not afraid to just stay in one certain frequency or sound or box. I just see certain things, and whatever reaches out and pulls to me, I kind of gravitate towards, and I fuse it with something else where I think, you know what, this makes sense. I don't know why nobody would ever consider it, because I hear it in my head. So I grab all these certain variables and elements and kind of have it filter through me, where you get this sound.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes you stand out, is that there's something for everyone. I don't actually listen to a ton of rap and hip hop, but I really like your lyrics and the vibe and the beats.
Yes.
That's all you.
Well, the beats, so no, I gotta give credit to Lucas. I had demo versions of a lot of those songs, but I wanted Lucas to reinvent them. I wanted him to kind of listen to the intention of my voice kind of mixed on these demos, and then from there grab those two references and really have my voice placed on something that'll match in its identity.
So is Lucas the one that helped you record?
Yes, he's my producer, my engineer, my drummer,
Okay.
and he was sent from above, because I was waiting for that gentleman for years.
Yeah.
A decade.
Wow, so you met him as you were...
I met him a year and a half ago.
Wow, okay. So when you were getting ready to put all this together?
Yes,
wow.
I met him, and again, I didn't know I was going to put out an album. I just had songs just sitting there, just thawing out, marinating. I was really trying to understand what I was trying to do with all this work, these compositions, these songs. And when Lucas came into the picture, I realized then that this was the guy that was going to handle my project. My engineer, producer, drummer, yo, Lucas. I was waiting for this guy for a decade.
At your album release party, you had this beautiful band playing with you.
Yes.
And I recognize a lot of those people from other shows that I've been to of yours. How did you put the band together? Why those people?
So there were certain individuals in the band off to the side in the white shirts that I call my musical family.
Mm-hmm.
And so essentially we're just a little nucleus, a collective of sorts that we come together, we jam, we vibe, we collaborate at certain events, and we're just very comfortable with each other. You know, it's sometimes hard to form a group because in groups maybe egos clash or styles clash, but with these guys, Young Bree and Tommy, Four, and Comrade, we all just play our positions, play our role, and you know, we hold this pillar, or we have these pillars that lift up this platform of sound and representation.
I love that.
And we do it wholeheartedly. And I feel comfortable with them playing music. So that's my family. And then we have my DJs.
They're incredibly talented too. So it's like.
And they, you know, they bought their identity, and they were able to kind of see me grow too. In the past 5 years, where I came back from Colorado with Sierra, and I was looking for another group to kind of attach myself to make music and to grow a little bit more as an artist, and I found them, and I'm so thankful I did, because they're just such genuine, warm-hearted individuals.
So another thing I noticed with them, I don't know if this was just something that I picked up or if it was intentional, but it almost looked like they were like part of a choir.
Yes. I wanted them to represent my musical angels. That's
what
I call them.
Oh, I love that!
Yeah.
Yes!
So that's what that represented.
Yeah. And you're gonna start talking about your DJs.
And my DJs, yes, Thorough, that's the beacon as to where I went to and recorded the album. You know, they're the managers of this multimedia facility, you know, where they do videos and they DJ and they coordinate events. And that's where I met Lucas, who's the engineer and the drummer. So they handle the ones and twos and the lighting and smoke.
Oh my God, really?
Yes.
So everyone that's been a part of this journey got to be a part of this special album release party. That you all got to witness such magic.
Yes.
So another really magical thing that I witnessed at this album release party is your friends are not just there because they're your friends and they want to support you. Your friends are truly your fans. I looked around and everybody was singing along, everybody was hyped up, and I even got to talk to Yasmin about this a little bit after. You've seen Freddy perform before?
Yeah, this is actually my third time but I want to say this is probably like my favorite time, because everyone was just so here genuinely and loving
everyone was together, right?
That's what beautiful energy.
That's what me and Yasmin were talking about inside, is that this is his album release party and his friends are not just here to support people.
It's not one of those things where you're just here like, okay, yeah, I'm here because you asked me to corral for you. Like, no, like, they know the lyrics, we're here like vibing with you, like they know how to just vibe with the beat, and it's genuine, it's intrinsic, it's so beautiful because you know that like they're co-creating all of this together. Like,
it's just magic. Magic is real, my friends.
I'm so blessed to have built these strong connections. I'm very, very lucky because maybe there's moments where we've all kind of connected and vibe and we've talked on certain things that maybe I didn't have the answers for at that moment, but I think that when I write these songs, you know, subconsciously the data and information I recorded kind of come out through my songwriting. Sometimes I don't even know how I'm coming up with
It's a message
things.
that's supposed to be shared.
And I think, it's not that I'm giving them advice or anything, but I feel like they pick up on that detail, that nuance of like, well, you know what, Freddy's always listening and he's always there. And I think they feel that, they see that, and when they hear my music, they connect with that in that sort of level.
And they really like it, and they know the lyrics. And you were also a part of a film.
Yes.
A documentary film about, you were one of 2 New Jersey artists that were in this film, it's called The Remedy, and the director is Boris, who I also got to speak to.
So Boris is very interesting individual. He's a professor. He heard my music, and one of the things he said to me was like, "How come you're not famous yet?"
I feel that way about you too.
Me too, about you. So he brought that up, and well, that was one of the statements that he claimed when he saw me. But then he asked me like, "Hey, listen, I'd love to have you in a documentary. We don't know when we're gonna release it." And he started following me for 3 years, and that was the end result, the end product. And I'm very happy. I'm very happy. I think that also was a marker to indicate once that documentary was finished that I need to release this album.
Yes. Oh wow. So the documentary really pushed you, like, it's time, it's time. This here is Boris, and we just watched his documentary called The Remedy, which is starring FACEcadet himself and co-star Serenity. So my first question to you, Boris, is where did you find Freddy?
It's a really good question. I found Freddy at a studio called KRTV Studio, which has sort of moved around a little bit, but when I found Freddy, he was at the studio in Belleville, New Jersey.
Okay.
And I was looking to recruit some artists to profile for a music documentary. And I kept meeting artists, and I was like, you know, kind of lukewarm about them.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Rudy, who runs the place, introduced me to FACEcadet. And as soon as he sent me a song of FACEcadets, I was like, yo, this guy is off the hook. He is just so original. He's got this boom bap thing, but he's also like got this like rock element, just this hybrid of influences.
And then the Latin influence.
And then the Latin influence, the Ecuadorian influence. And I just thought he needs to be somebody who I potentially profile. And then when Freddie and I met, we like instantly hit it off. We're both New York transplants. We both grew up in New York, but we lived in Jersey for a long time.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Queens, and Freddie grew up in Hell's Kitchen. And you know, we just sort of hit it off, and our relationship just blossomed. And documentaries, it's all about trust. It's all about creating trust so that people are comfortable telling their stories, their personal struggles, their successes, their disappointments.
Being vulnerable.
Yeah.
So it seems like you were already looking for musicians to feature. You knew you wanted to make a documentary about musicians.
Yes.
You also mentioned they're both New Jersey artists. That was also something important to you?
That was something important to me, especially making a music documentary about hip-hop. You know, so much credit is given to New York, and maybe rightfully so, the birthplace of hip-hop, but so many great hip-hop artists and musicians come out of Jersey, and they just don't always get the same attention, the same credit, the same exposure. And we thought that making a film about local Jersey artists would just kind of put some artists on the map that maybe other people would never have heard of otherwise. And so our film has screened in London, in Germany, in Italy, and around and around the country locally. And there's an audience for not just hip-hop, because hip-hop has become almost this universal kind of music, but it's also two stories that a lot of people, to your point, can really relate to. Two gritty working-class artists who are just so selfless and just all about their communities and their artwork. They're beautiful people, and we hope we honor their stories.
You were working on this for 3 years?
It's a 3-year project, yeah. The pandemic kind of, you know, got in the way a little bit because we were 2 years in, and then everything just like stopped. And our initial plan was to have Serenity and Freddy meet, but they never meet in the film, and that was partially because of the pandemic. But we still, we ended up actually having them not meet and thinking that maybe that was actually a better idea, because there would have been almost something Hollywood and almost very neat about them like meeting finally at the end, but to sort of like not ever have them meet and just let the viewer make the connections between them.
But you know, it's also interesting that they're both New Jersey artists, and that almost goes to show you how many different underground scenes there can be in one state, in one like genre, even though they're different, they're both rappers, you know. Like,
yeah, it's true. It's so true. There's such great diversity.
How did it feel having someone following you around for a couple of years?
So I guess I didn't feel anything or gave it much thought until I knew that it was ready, and I was like, oh, and I was a little bit nervous. I was scared. You know,
it turned out amazing. It's a great film.
Yes, I think when I saw it too, I felt much more inclined to release the album because I'm like, oh well, now I see the picture clearly.
Yeah,
I wanna release something so that when people see this documentary, the music matches the story.
Yeah. And I loved one moment in the documentary where you were singing to your mother. That really touched me.
Yes.
You were singing a song that you wrote for her, or?
So that song is an old gospel song that she used to sing to me when I was a kid, and I would always cry when she would sing that song.
That is so special.
Yeah.
So you turned around and you sang it to her.
Yes.
I loved that.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with your stage presence. Do you know where that comes from, or are you just up there and it's kind of like when you're writing, it just is a message coming from somewhere deeper?
Yeah, sometimes it's like I'm a conduit, you know. I just open myself up, and you know, you kind of have that leap of faith that you're gonna land on your feet, and I think that's where that comes from. I'm always nervous right before I hit the stage, but once that beat knocks, I don't know, I just activate. And it's years. It's also years of just me doing it. And just always kind of being a performer to myself in my bedroom growing up. And just kind of doing things behind closed doors. But always liking the feeling, right? And I think I'm able to share that with people in that sort of way. So that's where that...
but there was even some thought, like there was a point where you had braids and then you took your braids out. Was there an intention behind that?
I wanted to show growth, transformation, shedding of sorts.
I like that. So can you tell us, non-Spanish speaking people, what La Cara means?
The face.
Oh, La Cara means the face.
The face.
Okay. The face. FACEcadet.
And the face... It's not that I'm calling myself the face. I'm just saying the face can be you. The face can be anybody. Anybody can be La Cara, and it's the representation of you and how you carry yourself, right? And so when I make that La Cara, you know, I want people to say that too. If they feel like before they leave their house and they're like, I'm nervous, I don't know what to do, and they just yell it. It's like represent.
I love it.
So that's my little tribute to La Cara. Like that's what I'm trying to give to the people.
And then when you were signing the album, you were saying, I got your back.
Yes.
That's another little
my little mantra,
my little mantra,
logo. Yeah, I got your back. You know, if we're in the same room together and anything or everything is happening, good or bad, I'm there with you, you know, holding you down.
Got my city sign. Let's hold up that album. Let's show off that beautiful album with that gorgeous art. So Sierra's brother made this art, right? Yes. Wifey's brother made the art, and this is you, correct?
Yes, that's me.
And you got tools. Why do you have tools?
Because I'm a handyman. That's my trade. I fix things.
You're a fixer and a music man, and you even make things with your hands with your music. Yes. And let's hold up that T-shirt too. Let's show off that T-shirt.
Oh yeah, this T-shirt's awesome.
And these are for sale. People can purchase these beautiful pieces of your work. And I am going to leave links down below where you guys can follow FACEcadet. You can follow his journey. You can get his music. He's on Spotify. He's on YouTube. He sells CDs. There's going to be a lot more coming. He's going to be performing all over. I will leave all that information down below. And thank you so much for sharing yourself with us. I appreciate your art, and I cannot wait to see what happens next.
Yes, me too.
Yes! Till next time, my friends. Mwah.
Yeah!
La